Okay, so we're going to do question 10 in, question 5 in tutorial 10. So this is a question about public goods, okay? So from what you have learned in the lecture, we know that public goods are non-excludable. So it's basically everyone can consume a public good, and once the good is provided, everyone in the society is going to benefit from it, okay? So in this economy, we are given two consumers, and each of them is having a demand function. Okay, so but the first consumer is Alex, and his demand is given by the marginal benefit for Alex is equal to 24 minus G, where G is the number of woods that's going to be produced, okay, or number of the lighthouse. And the second consumer is Beatrice, and her marginal benefit is given by H minus 0.5 G. Okay, so marginal benefit is basically just the demand function for each of the consumer. Now, we know that the marginal cost for the lighthouse is $14. So the question asking you how many lighthouses is going to be provided in a competitive market, what is going to be the optimal number of lighthouses, okay? All right, so in a perfectly competitive market, okay, then we know that the price is going to be equal to the marginal cost, okay? So in this case, it's going to be equal to 14. All right, so at this price, now as you can see from here, for Beatrix, the price basically higher than the marginal benefit, okay? So even if she's not consuming anything, her maximum willingness to pay is only 8, which is smaller than the price. And so therefore she is not going to be happy to pay for anything. Okay, so therefore for Beatrix, G is going to be equal to 0. Okay, so we go for her first. Okay, so her marginal benefit equal to H minus 0.5 G. Okay, and if you make that equal to 14, which is the price in the market, then you find that G is going to be a negative number. Okay, so therefore we basically confirm that Beatrix is not going to buy any. Okay, how about for Alex? Now for Alex, his marginal benefit is given by, or his demand function is given by 24 minus G. And if the price is equal to 14, then he will be happy to buy 10 of the lighthouse. Okay, so therefore, Alex is going to buy 10 lighthouse. Okay, so the total number of lighthouses that is going to be provided in the market is going to be 10 that Alex is going to be demanding and 0 from Beatrix. Okay, so therefore the total G is going to be equal to 10. That is going to be supplied in a competitive market. Okay, now what is going to be the optimal number of lighthouse that that should be supplied in the market? Okay, so we know that the lighthouse is basically a public good. Okay, anyone who so all the sailors going through the sea is going to benefit from the lighthouse. Okay, so therefore this is the case of the public good. And what in order to find out the optimal number of the lighthouse that should be provided, that should be supplied in the market, we should be adding all the marginal benefit for all the consumer to work out the price that they should be paying for the goods. Okay, so we shouldn't be using only So it's different from the private goods, where at the same price you are trying to work out how much extra the consumer is demanding, and then you add all demand together in order to find the total quantity demanded in the market, okay, which is what we did in the competitive market over here. Now we have to treat the lighthouse as a public good, so therefore in order to find the aggregate demand or the total demand in the market, we will have to add all the marginal benefit for each of the consumer at a certain level of output and see how much the product should be charged, given that it's going to be providing benefit for all the consumers in the society. Okay, so in this case, I am just going to do a little diagram over here to show you what it means by adding vertically, okay, by adding the marginal benefits. So over here, I got the price or the marginal benefit, which is the same thing. And over here, I have G, which is the amount of goods, and I have 0. So marginal, so the demand curve for Alex first, which is 24 minus G. And so that is just going to be a downward sloping line. With a vertical and a horizontal intercept of 24. Okay, so it's just basically the same 24 and 24. So this is the demand curve for Alex. And the demand curve for Beatrix is going to be 8 minus 0.5 G. It's going to have a vertical intercept of 0.5, sorry, of 8. So it is here. And the horizontal intercept of 16. Okay, so I'll make it around here. And this is 8. Okay, so in order to find the aggregate demand or the total demand in the market, we would just have to add these two private demand curves vertically. Okay, so as you can see, for any quantity from 16 to 24, we only have the marginal benefit for Alex. Okay, so now as you can see at the quantity 16 over here, Beatrix is already, the marginal benefit for her is already 0. Okay, so she is not going to be paying anything. So at the quantity 16, the marginal benefit for Alex is going to be equal to 8. If you substitute this into his marginal benefit function, okay? And so therefore the total marginal benefit in the society is going to be 8, which is at this point over here. Okay, so for any quantity from 16 to 24, Beatrix is not going to benefit from consuming any of these units. So the only one whose benefit is going to be Alex, okay? So therefore the marginal, the total marginal benefit is just going to be equal to the marginal benefit of Alex. Okay, so the demand curve for the aggregate demand is just going to be the demand curve for Alex from the quantity 16 to 24, because for Beatrix, she is not going to consume any of the quantity above 16, because her marginal benefit is going to be negative. All right, so therefore, so this part of the aggregate demand is going to be just the same as the demand for Alex. Now, as for any quantity below 16, then as you can see, for example, if I got a quantity over here, so at quantity G equal to 0, marginal benefit for Beatrix is going to be 8. Marginal benefit for Alex is going to be 24. So the total marginal benefit is going to be 24 plus 8, which is 32. Okay, so that is going to be somewhere here. All right, so very similar for the rest of the quantity. For example, is here. Then if you're going all the way up to the marginal benefit for Beatrice, you get the marginal benefit. And you're going all the way up to the marginal benefit curve for Alex, you get the marginal benefit for Alex. And if you add these two marginal benefits together, you get the total marginal benefit in the society, okay? So if you keep doing that, you are going to get a line over here, which is basically the total marginal benefit. Okay, so what I do is I'm going to use a red line to indicate the aggregate demand or the aggregate marginal benefit for the society. Okay, so that is from here to here. And then for any quantity from 16 to 24, it's just going to be the same line as the demand curve for Alex. Okay, so just got this. Okay, so this one is total marginal benefit. Okay, so at the marginal cost of 14, so I'm going to draw just a straight line, horizontal at 14, so this is 8, so that is 16, so 14 is going to be somewhere here. Okay, so this is 14 and this is marginal cost. Okay, so the optimal amount is going to be the intersection between the marginal cost and the total marginal benefit. So this is going to be the optimal number of lighthouse that should be provided in the market. Okay, so it's going all the way down here. We found earlier this is going to be equal to, oh, sorry, we haven't found this. Okay, so in order to find that total amount of goods that should be supplied in the optimal level, then we would just have to find out a total marginal benefit. Okay, so total marginal benefit is just going to be the marginal benefit for Alex plus the marginal benefit for Beatrice. Okay, for any G between 0 to 16. Okay, and that is just going to be the marginal benefit for Alex for any G bigger than 16 and smaller than 24. Okay. Oops, sorry, it's the other way around. So 16. Okay. All right, so therefore the total marginal benefit is just going to be equal to 24 minus G plus 8 minus 0.5 G. And the second part is just going to be the marginal benefit of Alex, which is 24 minus G. So this is 32 minus 1.5 G. Okay, so now, so if I equate the total marginal benefit to the marginal cost, okay, so at the optimal level, now from the diagram, we can obviously see that when the marginal cost equal to 14, it is going to be cutting the total marginal benefit at the second part of the total marginal benefit, which is going to be at the part where the quantity is going to be smaller than 16, okay? So the equation we should be using is going to be this equation over here. So at the optimal level, total marginal benefit, it should be equal to total to marginal cost, okay? And so 32 minus 0.5 G, it should be equal to 14. And so therefore, G is going to be equal to 12. So I'll call this is G star, and that is equal to 12, okay? So the optimal number of lighthouse that should be provided is 12. However, in a competitive equilibrium, it's only 10 as going to be supplied. Okay, so it's asking you why is that the case? Okay, so why is the amount public would provided in competitive market generally too low from an efficiency perspective? Um, okay, perspective. All right, so as you can see, okay, so Chi in a competitive market equal to 10, which is smaller than Chi star. Now this happens because the good is public. Okay, so the lighthouse is a public good. Okay, and so therefore is non-excludable. Okay, so as you can see at the quantity Chi, at the equilibrium, a competitive equilibrium quantity Chi equal to 10, marginal benefit for Alex is going to be 24 minus 10, which is 14. And marginal benefit for Beatrix is going to be 8 minus 0.5 times 10 is going to be 3. Okay, so as you can see, the total marginal benefit for these two people is going to be 14 plus 3, which is equal to 17. And that is bigger than the price, which is bigger than the marginal cost, which is equal to 14. Okay, so therefore we know that when the total marginal benefit is higher than the marginal cost, it should be optimal to produce more. Okay, and so that's why Chi equal to 10 is not an optimal level. We know that it should be produced more because total marginal benefit is higher than marginal cost. However, because the good is a public good, so Beatrix can actually free ride on the lighthouse that is purchased or is bought by Alex. So she doesn't need to buy the lighthouse. Once it's already there, she can just benefit. She can just use it without having to buy it. Okay, so therefore, that is the case where Alex is the only one who's buying and paying at the marginal cost. Okay, and so the marginal benefit of Beatrix is not taken into account in a calculation. All right, so because she can free ride, so she actually getting benefit, but it's just not considered or it's not taken into account when we calculate a competitive equilibrium. Okay, so outside Beatrix, okay, can free ride. Okay, so she basically can consume the lighthouse that are purchased by Alex. Okay, and because the good is non-excludable, so there's no way Alex can do anything about it. Okay, so when he's already bought the lighthouses, it's going to be there and everyone can use it. Okay, so Beatrix can use it without having to actually pay for it. Okay, so therefore her marginal benefit wasn't taken into account when we calculate the equilibrium, and so therefore the good is underprovided. Okay, so it should be provided more because the total marginal benefit is still higher than the marginal cost at the quantity Chi equal to 10. However, in competitive equilibrium, only 10 are going to be purchased by Alex because Beatrix can just free ride and use it without having to buy it. Okay, so her marginal benefit wasn't taken into account and she can use it for free. Okay. Right, so her marginal benefit wasn't taken into account. Okay, in competitive equilibrium. And that is leading to an under provision of the lighthouses. Okay, so more should be produced, and we know that the optimal level is 12 units. Okay.